1111, baby. 1111. Firstly, to those of you who heard me last year, this is your reminder to go and find that 1111 prediction, wish, whatever it was that you made last year. And for those of you who weren't following me last year and who are now following me, this is your advice. Go and make a wish under this 1111. 1111 is about transformation, right? It really is about transformation. So write down some wishes that you want to be experiencing a year from now, and then set a reminder or put something in a calendar to remind you to check it in a year and see how far you've come. Now, this day is particularly interesting because obviously 1111 brings a whole new fucking vibe to it. And yes, hello, witches watching me, 29 degrees of Pisces is very active, okay, on this day. We are starting off with it and we're seeing it a couple of times throughout this day. So let's have a look at this trine to fucking Neptune, okay? So the moon is at 29 degrees of Cancer. Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces. We are at 3:53 a.m. Melbourne time. And, you know, we've just come out of like this, what happened beforehand, okay? So we've had the conjunction to Jupiter, the trine to Saturn, the trine to Lilith. And then we have, we're not sleeping. Guys, we're not sleeping. Then we get this trine to Neptune and then a sextile to Uranus. 25 degrees and then the 29 degrees. So something is fucking happening here, okay? And that's why I said last night, on the night of the 10th for the witches, get your fucking magic out, okay? And if you're awake at 4 a.m., I also want you to do that. I also want you to do that. One of the things that I think is a really nice thing to be doing is to be planting some seeds, like literally, like quite literally. Make your wish, plant a seed. Okay, I might make a little video on different things that I think we could do with this 1111. So the trine to Neptune, this is really a push, kind of a crisis, kind of an energy. And like, I'm saying crisis because I like to call the 29 degrees the crisis degree. But the reason that it is because there are only 30 degrees in each zodiac. And so when we get to 29, we're sort of on the last fucking lesson, right? We're on the last lesson. And 29 degrees, it does relate to Leo. It is a Leo degree. So it is about like you. And the crisis is about you and your personal expression. And so when we're dealing with Cancer energy, when we're dealing with the moon, this could bring up a lot of mother stuff, right? So, witches, those of you watching, this is about these two aspects, okay? So strap in if you're not here for the spiritual, my friends, because this is about to get spiritual. These aspects are really about feeling the emotional crisis of your ancestors, of the generations before you, of the mother, okay? And then allowing that Pisces energy to help us work through it, to help us feel, to help us integrate, to help those lessons from the ancestors become part of us, okay? Then the sextile to Uranus is helping us see something in a different perspective that we weren't able to see the last 8 years, 7 to 8 years. So we are feeling these things from the ancestors or from your mother, right? So from your mother backwards, right? So from your parents and then the mother lines backwards, okay? And those ancestors. And if you've had a shadow reading or a birth chart reading, then you know which side of the family that I think you need to focus on, okay? So this trine and then this sextile, it's so helpful. It's so helpful. And so Neptune and Uranus are both retrograding. So we've got space, you know, we've got space to feel it, to understand it, to move through these things because they're going to be retrograding for a few months. So we're in this energy of kind of a pause when it comes to what it means, how we're going to find it and how we're going to grab onto these gifts that we've kind of had floating around that we haven't really been able to use, right, in relation to the ancestors. Now, this Uranus in Taurus brings up things around security. It brings up things around money and abundance. And I know that there are more More than not, a number of people who are dealing with these sort of ancestral and generational kind of programs around traumas and around traumas with money, okay? And we are moving into a period of time next year where the childhood wound space is going to be about that, okay? And we're all going to have to face that in one way or another. So this Uranus moment is really allowing us to kind of see some things now so we can kind of get a jump start on it, right? And then we get this fucking little bit of stress, okay? Because a sesquiquadrate quadrant being the stress here, the moon is now in Leo and it wants to kind of confidently move. And remember that 29 degrees very related to Leo as well. So we've kind of come through this energy and now we're sort of lit up with like this very confident energy about who we are, because we understand, we're on this understanding spot that we are, you know, empowered by not only what we've overcome, but also what our mother, what our father, what their mother and father, what the ancestral line has overcome, okay? So this little bit of stress now is trying to shift some kind of either ego or like lack of confident mentality when it comes to moving forward, right? And then it rolls into this opposition to Pluto, and this is the old versus the new, and if anything's going to fucking show up, any bullshit in the US, this is the kind of energy that will do that, right? This is the boomers fighting the new way. This is the, you know, the old versus the young. This is the, it's always been like this, and the fuck you, no, it doesn't have to be anymore. And this could cause a bit of a battle in your home. This could cause a bit of a battle at work with authority, okay? Because it's very egotistical kind of energy. If you lean that hard into it. 1 degree is an Aries degree. Leo is ruled by the sun. Aquarius on the other end of it, right? On the end of it, of the axis of ego. So this is really the axis of ego having a little fucking battle. And Leo, right? Leo on the axis of ego is about our personal expression and our personal creativity. And Aquarius on the axis of ego is about how that thing, that personal expression, that personal creative project, how that thing, right, has a place in the collective, because everything does. So there is this really push-pull of like, I'm doing this and I'm these things and I'm this person. And then the Aquarius component goes, yeah, but like, what are you giving back? And so you can see how some of the old versus the new ways are going to get a bit of a fucking kick up the butthole, right? So 1248, trine to Mars, 143, square to fucking Venus, 421, trine to Mercury. So we're going to backtrack this, baby, because 421, the moon trine Mercury, 6 degrees, right? That's a Virgo degree. So that brings things into the material world. It makes us very analytical. It makes us probably overthink a little bit, especially with Mercury 6 degrees of Sag. A lot of overthinking, but they want to lock something in here, right? So there is something about your organized and habitual, like creative personal expression that is part of what you need on the journey forward, this new journey, right? And you need that, this analytical quality for this Mercury retrograding in Sag, okay? So where have you thought there was a truth that there maybe be some details floating around now that don't make it feel like truth, okay? So then when we backtrack, right, we get this square to Venus and then this trine to Mars, right? So the trine to Mars, it does become a bit of a I'm fucking doing this energy, right? So we come out of this like opposition to Pluto, right? And that's where we've had this push-pull, old versus new, ego versus collective, me versus the collective. And then we go, okay, well, I'm going to fucking make a move. Now, 4 degrees is Cancer degree. So there is a nurturing quality to it, but there is also like a need to feel secure, right? And so now I'm moving forward. I feel secure. I'm ready to go on this journey. I feel very fucking confident. Bam, 1:43 p.m. square to Venus. Someone doesn't fucking like it. Someone doesn't like it. Your workplace doesn't like it. Your one-on-one relationship that you have with someone doesn't fucking like it. Okay, you're having a good time. This is 2 parties having a good time, but not having a good time together, right? 5 degrees, Leo degree, ruled by the sun. We're trying to enjoy things. The moon in Leo is trying to enjoy its connection to that creativity with that emotional space. Venus in Scorpio at 5 degrees is trying to enjoy the relationship probably the spicy side of it, right? So a couple of things can come up with this square to Venus, right? This could be some motherfucker cheating, right? This could be someone cheating. So this story could read as, I'm going to do what I want to do, and then someone going, oh, that's what you want to do. You want to do that with someone else, and this is the mentality shift that is required for you to now kind of go back over your Sag placements and be like, how did this happen? How did I get on this journey, right? Then this is letting go, letting go, letting go. So the other way that this reads is that this square to Venus is really you feeling more confident about being able to speak up for what your spicy needs are, what your emotional needs are, what your kind of your more kind of reproductive system area needs are, okay? And so that could be you like having this confidence that through that moon trining Mars to then be able to have a talk about it, to bring it up, to finally let's have a talk, right? Because a square, even though it's a fucking battle, right, it demands action and growth, right? So it's either demanding that you see that someone's being a cheating bastard, or it demands that you speak up and that you're confident about what you need, what your emotions need, and what you need in the depths of your fucking soul, right? Then Venus biquintiling Neptune, I mean, that's you fucking letting go of your partner, or it's you, right? A biquintile is about an idea that needs to be let go of in order to move forward. And as you can see, Neptune 29 degrees of Pisces, that idea is potentially not yours. It's your family, it's your ancestors, it's the freaking generations before you that gave you these mentalities about what relationships need to be. And this is where you need to let that go to move forward, right? So then we get 1028, the moon making a biquintile as well with this forward moving, right? So I'm forward moving now, but I'm at 10 degrees, says the moon, which is a Capricorn degree. So we're in this long-term focused goal mode now. And like, what is it that I need to let go of when it comes to, you know, ancestral and generational traumas from the past, when it comes to my ego, when it comes to my like fear of like not showing up perfectly or having someone not like me? Where does like a long-term focused goal on being able to show up as myself, right, and be confident and feel good about it, what do I need to let go of to be able to move forward, right? Even though I know I'm moving forward into like new ground, I'm going to be okay to do that. 10:56 p.m. Sesqua quadrant, right? So annoying, anxiety, triggering, stressful, right? Because Saturn's here now. So if you haven't taken responsibility for it, he gonna ask you to. He gonna ask you to. He only days less than 3 weeks away from stationing direct. So you need to take responsibility for this, yeah? You need to find what that inner mentality should be in order to help you move forward, okay? So if you would like to get a reading, if you would like me to tell you how this energy is coming in for you and how you can best use it, you can find all of my details on my website or in my link tree. Stay weird.